beautiful divine masculine and feminine darlings. I don't plan to be here for too long. But I do have a little reading to do. I'm just going to quickly check in on the energies and go from there. Just a second, I put a little too much oil on. Just fine, I just don't want it all over the cards. Alright. Let's see. There's abundance Reiki coming through. Also, please remember to hydrate. I need to refill my cup. I've got a salad next to me that I just made, and I'm going to pack a bowl in a moment. Do what you need to do. If you have medicine or something like that you need to remember to take, do that. If you need to wash your face and brush your teeth or get ready for bed, do that. Take care of yourself, please. Put on some comfortable pajamas if that's where you are. I know I have people watching me in different time zones, so take what you will from that. Flip the script if you need. Politics and ambition, okay. Court proceedings in some cases. This doesn't have to be necessarily with political structures or law, but I do feel like it does. In at least some cases, if it doesn't, this can be the way that narcissists try to monopolize and target light workers in their lives. Immorality, yeah. It's a corrupt courtroom or corrupt system, corrupt group of people, aggressive, angry, targeting. Karmic says, why did I do that to her? This is one of the princes of hell. I'm turning the light on. Which one is this? Yeah, Baal. Why did I do that? Because you thought you'd get away with it. Eloquence. Why did I do that? Because you thought you'd get away with it. Scandal. For money. Protection. Fanatical belief in hypocrisy. So they try to push their propaganda and agenda angrily, aggressively, at the expense of others. impossible plans. So no matter what they tried, it's already failed in advance. Folly. It was all fun and games till it fell short. Take a bite of this salad. Hold on. Cheers. Slavery and bondage. The fall of empires. So because they tried to tie people down, box people in, everything that they tried to build has crumbled or is crumbling. Lust and weak wills. Yeah, there's another prince of hell. It's Asmodeus. Baal. I hear Baphomet too. So sounds like karmics have been calling on demons, or if they've not been calling on them, they've been embodying those energies or moving within those frequencies, like moving out of impulse, lust, greed, etc., seeking to try to manipulate people. One of these also tries to control or affect children. So the way that these people have targeted people's innocence, inner children, or their actual children. There's redemption, though, coming not for the karmics. Not in regards to light workers get to go free because we were not supposed to be oppressed the way that these people tried to oppress us in the first place. Right? They may be able to clear some of their karma by taking accountability and not doing this again. But they still have to take accountability. They still have to own what they did. Take the L, and they don't want to, but that's not how that works. Pride. See, they're trying to run away from the truth about things, and they think that as long as they cover it up, they won't have to take accountability, but the universe doesn't work that way, and it doesn't matter whether they believe in universal law or karma or not. It will still kick their behinds every time. And these are the same people that if they don't believe in karma, when they start getting bad luck, they don't seem to equate that it is directly correlated to the nasty things that they were doing to people, when it is, in the cases that it is. Longevity, self-atonement, see? And it will continue to follow them until they take accountability. Spiritual communication, because God saw that. The universe saw that. Here's some of their ancestors. For some of these karmics, their ancestors have even disowned them. Meaning, not only do they not have divine support or angelic protection, they don't have ancestral protection either. And the ancestors at that, rectification, political authority, because they know they need to answer to the divine. For as powerful as some people's ancestors are, on a frequency level, the angels are more powerful, just by default. So really, the ancestors answer to the angels on a ranking level, the holy angels. And the holy angels work for God. And just like within every religion and concept, whether it's the Fae or the angelic realm or anywhere in between, perceptively speaking or otherwise. You have dark and you have light beings and people. The same way you'll find good people and not so great people in any church or grocery store or anywhere in between. Thank you very much. It's about discernment. Thank you. I love you, but you need to stay out of my salad, you monkey. I love you. Almost ready for bed? My little cuddle buddy. I got you, boo-boo. 12:22. Don't trip, I got you. This one says, "Thou art a witch." Which could simply stand for a woman in charge of herself, right? Somebody tapped into their own power. In the case of the light workers, in the case of the karmics, they're being called out for what it is. Roses have thorns. Yeah, so two things. These karmic people tried to claim that they were roses while being thorns in people's side. And then on the other hand, they kept trying to pick roses, divine beings, light workers, right? Terrorize the flower beds that they were supposed to leave alone and then complain that they got barbed wire. What was this say? The violent delights, exactly. They took pleasure in causing pain and destruction for others, you see. Yes, they did. I hear that's not very nice. No, I agree. I don't think it is either. Which is why it's being reflected back to them, as you can see here. Don't trip, I got you. The spirits riseth. Yeah, see that ancestor message? It's been a long day. I'm about ready for bed. Venus in the sky, so there's love energy here. There's love coming through, as well as I hear harmony. But it's a divine, there it is, counterpart connection. See that turn yellow again as I flipped open the angel card. And then you've got the fairies of jealousy. So they're jealous karmics. You see what their masks here? They've been ripped off. People can see them. The forgeries of jealousy at that. So these are people who either were fake or they went as far as, in some cases, filing fraudulent documents or paperwork against others. They also seem to want to smear campaign good people as something other than that. Follow darkness like a dream. They wanted people to follow them blindly into this nonsense. It's very sad. 1622. Wild water, you see, but you see what they didn't expect was for the light workers to be able to cleanse that energy out, or be able to go with the flow of that. We're shifting through another Mercury retrograde. I love Mercury retrogrades. The cyclic energy shifting. Angelic fiend, told you. So they're elementals, but they're also dark fae or dark beings that seek to try to cause conflict and harm. So be mindful. It's just about having discernment, whether it be on the human realm or otherwise. Okay, I've got my little matchbox here. And the matchsticks that came out with it today are let's see. Resist the urge to gossip. Can you see that? As well as take time to listen and be clearly supportive. Listen closely and be supportive. And then the last one, help someone, wow, help someone with a heavy grocery bag, stroller, or luggage. And you know what? Today I had to do a couple of errands, and there was this elderly woman, and she pulled me to the side. I thought for a minute maybe she thought that I was an employee, because sometimes, like last month I was putting away grocery carts just because they needed to be put away, and I was already putting mine away anyway. So I put them away, and this person who struggled to see properly thought I was an employee. And today an elderly woman needed help reaching something off of a tall shelf. She didn't think I was an employee. She just hoped I was a good citizen, and she hoped correctly here. And then shortly after, maybe 15 minutes later, I was in another section, and another woman had a question about a product. Now, I was tall enough to help the first lady. And while I'm not an employee, interestingly enough, the section that I was in when the second lady asked me for my help and advice, 1022, it's something that I actually went to school and had training in, so I was able to give her more than just a consumer opinion, but one that was more qualified from a chemical or chemistry perspective. She liked the price on something that was there, but the one she picked was not a good brand. It's thin, inconsistency, doesn't last as long. But because of the information and the knowledge that I have, I was also able to give her better recommendations. Debt paid. So there are bills being paid, squared away. This might not be an actual bank loan. This could just be like if you were needing some resources for something going in your way. Yeah, resources, money on some level. This could be with a bank, but this could be maybe you reach out and you ask for help on some level, and it's granted. Here. Background check. This might not actually be a background check as in regards to like somebody looking up your information. This could be information for a job or something, but this could just be in some cases is somebody looking up your social media, because jobs and places like that often do that, in case you didn't know. In this era, some of them don't care, some of them do. Like over time, there's also opportunity for some kind of healing, some opportunity to excel in a project or make leaps and bounds. Make some extra money, saving money. So obviously there's extra money here. Look, yeah, see, growth, huge decisions over time. So the extra work, the hard work you've been putting in is paying off, because not only is there money coming in, or there's resources to square away some debts or bills according to the previous card, but you also will be able to stack some and save some as well, and that's good. There's growth happening here. This doesn't have to do with children necessarily. It can be about building families. This can be in regards to people who've had their children used as like weapons. I know some of these narcissists either targeted children or targeted people with or through kids. Yeah, responsibilities. Some of them knew that that was the way to try to keep light workers connected. Like if they could try to use the kids as leverage, they knew we were such responsible people that we would never just give up on our kids, and so they felt like that would be a forever attachment for them to us. No, dude. When you abuse people, especially when you abuse the kids, you lose the privilege to access anybody involved that wants nothing to do with you, and that you're unfit and unsafe and unhealthy to be around. And it's not just about kids, this is abuse in general, but that's for some people. Let's see. New assets. I hear what goes around comes around. Yeah. Well, and I'm not just talking about before, because I already feel it. There's a karmic male lurking on my feed. If not now, then on the replay. And he's so disgruntled, just like combatant. Everything I say, he's trying to like butt heads about it. And I said, what goes around comes around. I said, well, yeah. He said, yeah, we'll see about that. I'm like, it's not even just about, yeah, what goes around comes around, karmics. No, dude, what goes around comes around. is what I said, but really what I was thinking was a positive note. Like, I spent my day, I had to take care of some things, and it was a very busy and productive day, but I also made a point to help the people that needed help along the way, that I either saw that needed help or that asked for my help. Multitasking, yeah, see? This can have to do with kids. Doesn't have to. Maybe this is multitasking on getting everything that these people threw out of balance back in balance, including also the well-being of home and family and kids. There it is. But in some cases, this is just like, you know, some people say that their business is their baby or their nest egg or something. It's like seeing the growth pay off from all this hard work. It's also making huge decisions in some cases about saving and spending, but I also am picking up in some cases it's about staying or going, like moving to a different place or location, or I hear staying in an unhealthy environment that's not for you. Or taking this leap of faith into an opportunity or even location in some cases that's better for you and healthier for you than where you've been. It's not for everybody, right? Don't make brash, impulsive, destructive choices, but some of us are being called to go. We've either outgrown where we are, or frankly, we didn't really fit in the first place, and that's okay. It's the universe's way of moving us up and out to better places for us, more suited for us. See? Compass. There's, you see this, the line here. This is a safety line just in case somebody falls with the harnesses. Looks like there's somebody belaying at the bottom. It's called belaying when you use the string. And when somebody's getting ready to either climb up or jump down, they say on belay or and then if, I think it's this person, if I recall, that says on belay, and if the person who's like spotting them basically hears it and confirms, yep, you're good, the ropes are tethered, I have them secured, meaning I'll catch you if you fall, you're good, they say on belay on belay on, and it's a conversation, like a radio response kind of. Now they're in close enough proximity typically to the point where they don't need a radio, but that's kind of the consensus of the conversation. It's just to communicate. Kind of like making sure there's a spotter ready before you jump. You make sure to ask the spotter if they're ready and tell the spotter you're ready to go, and then the spotter confirms as to whether or not they're ready for you to go and whether or not you are good to go. So it's a teammate. Look, there's teammate job offer happening here. There may be bonuses here, but if it's not that, it's like an opportunity to elevate in the hard work that you've been doing, or as a result of and with and for the hard work, from the hard work you've been doing. Yeah. Getting out of toxic environments, away from toxic people. So somebody who's self-made and established, but seems to have been targeted and kept having to rebuild. Kept having people trying to block them in, work from home. Sugar. Like moving away from people trying to micromanage everything about the light workers' lives, what they do, how they move, etc. I hear somebody blaming somebody for being in a financial spot also after they're the ones who put them there. I don't like this energy. Internship. There's something about learning here. Maybe learning new skills at a job or elevating. It's also about either finding good sales, or if you have a business, maybe having a sale. I've been thinking about doing another sale recently, but we'll get there when we get there. Either way, there's money to be made, but I'm hearing that the light workers deserve it. I hear it exactly. It's not out of greed. I hear, and look at all the hard work and dedication that you've put in, not even just for yourself, for your family, for the collective, in some cases, for pro bono. Anything else? Yeah, it's about clearing old cycles and debt. This isn't even just about physical debt. This could be about karmic debt, or just clearing karmics out, karmic cycles. Let me grab one more deck. There's Halo Reiki coming through. There's also Elevation Reiki coming through, and Peace Reiki coming through. Gather your tribe. Okay, so this is about soul family. Reclaim your soul skin. It's about being your true, authentic self. You be your weird little light. Shine your weird little light so all your other weirdos know how to find you. Awaken, yeah, it's that elevation, ascension energy. See, and remember your innocence. I did mention something about that. How there were some karmic energies and they wanted the light workers to take false guilt, to take projections, create your own paradise. I've been hearing Paradise by Bazzi. He says, this shit feels like Friday night. This shit feels like Friday night. Paradise. Laugh with life. Yeah, lighthearted energy. Being able to find the humor. But also being able to stand your ground when it counts. Release perfectionism. Careful, kitty. Love you, baby, but no thank you. Restore balance. Careful, my love. Come here. It's about protecting yourself and what you built. But also, again, that true authentic soul skin, that's authentic higher self. Remember the little things. Extra emphasis on this and claim your sovereignty. There is perception Reiki coming through. That's what they're calling it. Perception Reiki. Should help people see a bit more clearly. I just got a flash of the show Jenny in Georgia. It's a series. There's a scene in it where I think it's Georgia, the mom. There's a reference of her liking scary movies because after everything that she's been through in life, like the scary movies were not as scary as her real life. And there's actually something to that in regards to people who've been through a lot of trauma. And they may find, or you may find if you are connected to people who've been through a lot of trauma, that they wind down or relax to true crimes or like spooky, what would to other people, what would be like spooky stuff. And there are a combination of reasons for this, but one of them is that it's kind of a way to trigger that spook response, but from a controlled way. And so they know they're safe. It's a way to kind of like process that out, but also meaning that because they know they're safe, even though the energy of there being a threat in regards to the topic, regardless of the dynamic, because it's coming from like a show or something like that, they know that they're safe. Unlike real life. And that's the other side of it, is that for a lot of people, even though there are often a lot of parallels and similarities between like the true crime stories and what a lot of us have been through, because there's a level of detachment from it, because they're watching it through a screen, it's someone else's story. While those things can sometimes be triggering for some people, or at certain times, or depending on certain stories and topics, it can also be a way to, again, like almost process that out from the outside looking in. like when I watch true crimes, I understand and I resonate. I understand all the perspectives. I understand the criminology aspect of it and where these people are coming from or where they think that they're coming from in their abusive and delusional, twisted little minds. But I resonate with the good authorities, the people who figure out what's up with the true narrative and the victims and the criminals, and also the people who've gone through it. I understand, I resonate with those people. Now, sometimes criminals will watch true crimes and things like that, and they resonate with certain people in the story too, but they resonate with other criminals. They watch things like that to try to justify their behavior. They don't resonate with the victims or the authorities who are hunting down people that are just like them on one level or another. And this is where the other side of it comes in again. Especially when it's someone else's story and there's a level of control, regulation, and detachment. None of that's scarier than what we've been through in real life. There's a reason for that. There's eloquence Reiki. This will help with flow and ease of communication. There's also a channel popping up. And it's this guy who, he calls it a stammer. He has a stammer. It's kind of like a stutter, I think. And he works to overcome that and kind of like records his social interactions where he puts himself in environments that either, I guess, maybe would trigger that or where it might otherwise perceptively cause an issue, and he makes himself like order his own lunch at a place that would otherwise make him anxious to do or something. So it's like to trigger that response, but also to overcome it. Kind of documenting his journey along the way. They're pinpointing that as another topic or type of energy within this. I'm also seeing something about sign language. It's not surprising. I could definitely learn more and I could definitely brush up on my skills, but I used to be able to speak lyrics in sign language. I knew the full alphabet in regards to communication. And then before my baby could speak words, let alone sentences, she could speak full sentences by the time she was 2. But before she could speak words, I taught her sign language, so she could still tell me everything that she wanted before she even knew how to speak, down to what food and or drink she wanted, if she was hungry, tired, thirsty, wet, needed a change, or whatever. Wanted milk, whatever. Milk. Eat. Like this with eat. Put it to your mouth. Air Nirvana by Sam Smith. Oh, so pretty. What I think is most pretty behind it, it's not even just the song, it's them picking up a divine masculine energy. And there's just this beautiful heart chakra connection and open expansion between them. I just heard aspiration Reiki. Okay, it's reaching for goals and aspirations. No, get that out of here, thank you. Hi, Mike. I love you. Thank you for the help, bro. Archangel Uriel. There's just an energy vampire attack that tried to come through on the right, on the left rather. So they're trying to get back in. Sounds like to me. It's a no for me. Bloodthirsty little demons. Shame on you. Interesting. There's a Reiki coming through. I don't think I've picked this one up before. This is a new one. This one is for police officers. I just got chills. It's for the good cops. This energy is only coded to those who want it, cognitively and otherwise, right? So with psychological, mental awareness, and also just within their heart and their spirit that it resonates. I don't just send things to people. I don't just, even energetically speaking, treat people without permission and consent. I feel like that's like treating a patient without consent. Now, there are certain circumstances where I am called to help when called, or do make certain moves when called, including when I come here. I don't just choose to come here and do Reiki. It's a calling. I don't even pick the modalities. I just, what comes out, comes out. It's whatever's needed. And then I know what's up based on what's coming up. But like, say there's an accident and an ambulance shows up and somebody's unconscious and needs life-saving intervention. The unethical thing would be to just leave them hanging and let them die. Yeah. So in cases like that, when there's a specific calling and requirement, that may be a different story, but that doesn't happen very often. And at that point, it's not a violation of anybody's free will. It's a divine call. It's like a spiritual emergency responder. In fact, that's exactly what it is. Equivalently. an EMT shows up on the spot and somebody's bleeding out and they can give them stitches right there or what have you. Or at least compress the wound until they can get a trained physician in the building, you know what I mean, or get the person to the hospital. Suture right here, yep. Okay, there's also suture Reiki coming through. This helps with those energy vampires, so if they try to bite holes in the aura, imagine it's like somebody leaving a gash in your skin and then you're just bleeding out. So I do, yes, I fill and repair and balance the aura space, but I also make sure to stitch up any holes that are severed through them by vampire energies like that, so that they're not leaking energy. And also the same thing with any cords of connection. I make a point not only to imagine like an umbilical cord to remove them, or like, I know it sounds strange, but this is what I'm seeing in afterbirth, like a baby's born and then with the umbilical cord that it was that was the baby was attached to its mom by is attached to the afterbirth, so that has to also be released as well. But as far as the etheric cords of connection that don't belong there, they're kind of like umbilical cords, so it's not just a matter of cutting them. Imagine you have this cord and you cut it, then you've just got two separate ends flailing. You don't want that. You want it severed. But then if it's latched onto somebody, imagine this is someone's body and this is the cord. This cord is latched onto someone's body. You want it removed, but you also want to close any wounds that are here and heal and fill that space. Make sure that nothing else is connected. There are no, when there's a specific type of dark spiritual energy, and they have these, they're kind of like dark, shadowy, snaky, or like smoky, sludge-like energies. It's a little hard to explain, but they have these things that they use to attach those cords of connection, and that's what they use to drain people, kind of like a mosquito sticks its little thing out at people, or even a monarch butterfly, although there's nothing wrong with the monarchs. They kind of unwind their tongue and they uncurl it out to go down into the center of a flower. These things will lash their like dark umbilical cord thingies out at people, and they'll latch them onto different chakra points. The root chakra to project fear, the crown chakra, the third eye chakra to distort and confuse people, the heart chakra to try to get people to be closed off, the solar plexus and sacral to mess with people's creativity and self-confidence, discipline, ability to have drive and dedication to move forward, etc. Self-growth, initiation. But the ends of them, what they latch onto people with, they're kind of like a cross between a stingray hook and like a tentacle thing. It's like oh, yeah, that's right. If you've ever seen the Witcher series, in the first episode of The Witcher, there's this thing in there. It looks like a tick, cross between a tick and a spider, and it's kind of like that. It's so weird. And you know what? One of those princes of hell comes up as that weird spider energy with multiple heads. Exactly, like this weird tick thing, blood-sucking, yeah, vampire. Okay, and they did mention that the other day, narcissist slayer, vampire slayer. That's what the team was saying about me. Archangel Michael says, yes. 5515. But they reach these tentacle things out, and at the end of them, they have these kind of like a fish hook, like barbed wire, cross between a stingray hook and like a tarantula belly. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. I know it sounds weird also, but tarantulas are kind of like porcupines a little bit, and they have these hairs under their belly, these little micro hairs, and at the ends of these micro hairs there are these curved little barbed wire things, and when they get nervous like a porcupine, they will spit them out. And if you've ever had a haircut, like if a guy has ever had a haircut, just gotten a trim, and he's got these little pieces of hair, it gets stuck in his shirt, or anybody has ever cut hair themselves, like cosmetology, and you know what a hair splinter is. It is what it sounds like. It's like a splinter, but it's made with just a singular tiny little piece of hair, and so they're hard to see and find and pull out, and they're really irritating. You can still feel them, and they bother you, and they bother your skin, but it can be difficult to find exactly where they are and get them out sometimes because they're so small. Now, they don't have the barbed wire at the end from like a haircut, just a regular human haircut, but the crossover between what a human hair splinter from a salon or something like that is, and then the tarantula hairs, it's very similar, except for the difference is they have these hooks on the end, like the stingray, kind of a barbed hook, like a fish hook. They curl out over, and so they go in, but it's hard to get them out. Harder than a hair splinter. Hair splinter, you just have to find it and be able to grip it. But actually, porcupine quills are like this too. It's why if an animal, a dog, let's say a dog gets a face full of porcupine quills, you're really supposed to take it to the vet, because they are hooked at the end of them, and if you just yank them out, you can do a lot of damage, like tissue damage, and really, you can really mess the animal up. They need to be often surgically removed very carefully in order to not mangle them because of the hooks on the end of the quills. And so bottom line is that, all totems aside, that's the energy of these dark, I call them shadow wraiths. What it is a narcissist out of body. And then when you're dealing with narcissists, dark people like that, evil people like that, they don't have holy angels working with them. They have dark spirits around them who help them try to target other people, or, right, let's say somebody has a dark spirit attachment or a demonic attachment to them. It's like they're encouraging these people to target light workers, a little devil on their shoulder. But these things, just like narcissists have their so-called allies that flip on them the second they don't have a mutual goal, or the second there's not something, binding them together in one fashion or another, even just their bad habits, addictions. They're angry. Very angry. Quite interesting. I feel that. It's a karmic female or fallen female trying to pull on my energy. Out of body, it's just a dark spirit. It's just a shadow wraith at this point. It's just a black spirit, an energy vampire. When they're in human form, that's when it becomes a narcissist. Like narcissists need little groups of them to run together, so do these energy vampires. In spirit. But again, they only work together long enough to gang up together. 6116, but the second that they don't have a mutual target or something blows up in their face or they get bored or there's something in it for them, they flip on each other. They're blue falcons, so it doesn't work out in their favor. There's Reiki for helping with progression forward. Also for letting the past be in the past. I would absolutely love for my readings to start shifting. Well, it is what it is. What comes out on the board comes out on the board, but I prefer the much higher timelines where these karmics haven't or aren't running amok, rather. Something about safety. There's safety Reiki, they're saying. Okay, hold on. If somebody was threatening your safety or security on some level, that's being shifted out. Or more security is being shifted in, or it's like being able to move out of that environment. Also just heard leave no trace. It's about being able to fully remove yourself from whatever toxic or karmic equation. There's inner peace Reiki coming through, and then also one for healing and releasing any anxiety. Okay, I'll do a couple of aura shields while I'm here. Before I do that, let's cut the rest of these cords. Thank you. Okay. Here's the first shield. Here's the second one. Here's the third. Here's the fourth. Ooh. Please remember to pray, do no harm, take no crap, and I'll catch you on the next one. Blessings and namaste.